G'day, I'm Daniel from Ultimate Hunting Australia, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about why pointing dog breeds are so useful for hunting sambar deer. I'll also explain to you what I believe are the best pointing breeds for stalking sambar deer the way I do. A pointing dog can help us find a lot more deer while stalking because they can cover more ground than we can. It's only logical that the further a dog can work away from us while we're stalking, the more deer they have a chance to find. When a pointing dog locates a deer, it should remain stationary on point away from the hunter. This is what separates a pointing dog from a non-pointing dog breed. It is the main reason why non-pointing breeds would need to be worked much closer to the hunter. There are a number of reasons why a dog holding point further away will help us. 1. It keeps us further away from the deer, which increases the chance of seeing the deer before it takes off. 2. It helps us move around difficult terrain instead of through it while we move in on the deer. 3. It gives us a line of sight as to where the deer is in thick cover. The skills of a pointing dog are even more important for sambar hunting in Australia because sambar spend so much of their life in thick and often dry vegetation. In this habitat, it's very noisy to stalk. But by working our pointer away from us and even using a tracking collar, the dog can be on point out of sight, holding stationary while we move in on the deer slowly.
Hey, you got it. That's awesome. The dog wouldn't have found it without.
There is a saying that it's not the dog, it's the trainer that determines if a dog is good. And while I do agree that there's truth in this saying, if genetics wasn't important, every horse could possibly win the Melbourne Cup, and even I could have been a football superstar. So of course, our pointing dog genetics matter. There are 3 key reasons why we want the best pointing dog genetics possible as deer hunters. 1. It will be easier to train a dog with good genetics. 2. It will be faster to train a dog with good genetics. And 3. The higher level of success we'll be able to achieve with our dog. While all pointing breeds can point, of course, there are 2 categories of pointing dogs that are generally recognised around the world. They are versatile pointing breeds and specialist pointing breeds. Versatile pointing dog breeds include the ever-popular German Shorthair Pointer, the German Wirehair Pointer, Vizslas and Weimaraners. Versatility was achieved by selecting and breeding dogs with an increased desire to catch game as well as point them. And as a result, versatile breeds became more proficient at water retrieving, blood trailing, and even catching small game than the traditional specialist pointers. Then there's the second group of pointing dogs, the specialists. These include English pointers and the setters. For centuries, specialist pointing dogs have been selectively bred to find birds on land using the bird's body scent and then point them out for the hunter. They have been specifically bred to have less desire to catch animals, which in turn further added to their steadiness at holding point. Over the past couple of years, I've worked with over 100 dogs from different pointing breeds that are being used currently for Sambar stalking. Across all breeds, the genetic skill has ranged from good to not so good. But there are some common themes I've seen, which of course do marry up to the traditional uses of each breed. I've seen that the specialist pointing breeds will naturally be more inclined to work air scent than ground scent. The specialists will more naturally move in on deer slowly and point them from further away. And the specialists are easier to train to stay on point for long periods, even when out of sight. So with all that said, in my opinion, a specialist pointing breed is the best suited for finding and pointing deer. Of course, this assumes that the dog being used has good genetics within that breed.